Good evening, everybody. How are you all today? I hope you're having a really great day. I thought today we'd talk about some of the health benefits of a hug. And you might be wondering how I came to want to talk to you about this topic today, and I'll tell you that in a minute. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storme. I'm the Director and Principal Psychologist here at Cerebellum Consulting in Frankston. Though today, right now, it's after work. I can't believe I got out so early. I finished at 5 and I was out at 5:30. And I'm here in Hastings and I think it's hailing on my roof as we speak. Hey Amanda, how you going? So before I had a shower and got in my pajamas and everything, I thought it might be nice to get this vlog sorted out and say hello to everyone. So as most of you know, I really love all of the work that I do with children. And today I was so lucky because I got to meet a bunch of kids, some of them new and some of them not so new. And it was such a delight because one of the things that we learned about today with a couple of the kids was about their anger. So sometimes, excuse me, I'm just going to try and do two things at once again here. Sometimes what happens is when we're angry and the kids are angry, sometimes parents bring the children into us and they want to sit in the session and they want to tell us about their children and how naughty their children are or how angry their children are. And you know, that can be, well, we do need to get a history and it's always great to get that from parents, but sometimes too we also need to get the parents to have these conversations in private with us, away from the child. Because imagine being that child and sitting there listening to, you know, your mum or your dad tell a complete stranger how naughty you are and how you need to be fixed. Believe it or not, it happens. Anyway, I don't really like it happening in my rooms. But today I saw a couple of children who had been referred to me for counselling for anger. Anyway, these children had been busy doing all sorts of things. They've been angry towards their brothers and sisters. They've been, hello Gabe. They've been hitting out at school. They've been lashing out at home, things like that. So one of the things that they all had in common though was that most of the time, most of the kids are well behaved at school, but again, not so great at home. And so we're trying to have a look at what's different, what are the boundaries at school, what's happening at home, what are the boundaries there. Are both of the parents on the same page in terms of coping with the children and dealing with the children's behaviour? Is one parent undermining the other or not? All of this sort of stuff. And one of the things that came out of a couple of the conversations that we had was that I was asking the kids, you know, oh, what's it like for you when mum or dad read your story in bed? And the kids were like, story? What's a story? And I said, you know, and they tuck you in and they have a chat with you about your day. And these kids were telling me this doesn't happen. So a bit of a surprise. So I had a chat to the parents and they said, no, we don't tuck them in. You know, the kids take themselves to bed. I said, oh, okay. Well, what time are they taking themselves to bed? Well, whatever time they like. I said, okay. So some of these children take themselves to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock with a device, and then have some behavioural problems in the morning. And, you know, I think maybe a big part of that is because the kids are probably a little bit too tired and maybe they haven't had a fantastic sleep, so they don't want to wake up and they're grumpy and moody, and then they're hitting people in the family. By the time they get to school, they seem to be, you know, roused sufficiently and they're coping okay. So I think maybe one of the, hey Peter, how you going? Peter says hi. I think one of the most important things we can do as parents, and as you know, I'm not a parent myself. I've got Gabe, the blue-head monster over there. But one of the most important things that you can do is give your child a bedtime story, give them a cuddle, you know, tell them that you love them, all of those sorts of things. Hey Sasha, how you going? I hope you're staying nice and warm tonight too. So the reason is it's not just for the sake of the cuddle, and it's not just for the sake of spending time or anything like that. What it does is it actually deepens the bond that a parent and their child have, and that's what you want. And I think a lot of the time when that bond is, hey Frank, how you going? A lot of the time when that bond is deepened, we start to see some of these behavioural issues lift, which is, you know, really important, because what we're learning is there's been perhaps a sense of disconnect from the child and sometimes from the parent. It goes both ways. Sometimes children feel like parents don't understand. Sometimes parents are exhausted trying to manage children's behaviours, and then they themselves sometimes want to pull back a little bit. You know, mum might say to dad, oh, you handle it, or dad might say to mum, no, you handle it this time. So sometimes one of the ways that we can rebuild the relationship and improve some of the behaviours that you're seeing in the children is by spending time with them, and definitely giving them a hug, and definitely saying I love you, and things like that. Sometimes with children, when they're being really naughty, that can be a trigger for us to want to react and say stop doing that, or you're being really naughty. But sometimes you can just ride out that behaviour and wait until they've stopped, and then go over and just give them a big hug and say, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Are you all right? Because I think, just my point of view, but a lot of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, these behaviours are coming about because the kids are feeling a little bit disconnected from their parents. Hang on one second, I just have to pop this in the oven. Anyway, thank you. Oh, lots of love hearts. That's nice to see. Thank you very much. So that's just my little, I guess, takeaway from today. It's just so important that with children, if you want to improve their behaviour, sometimes looking at the relationship and the bond that you have, and stripping it right back to basics, and getting back into routines, and getting back with all of the simple things like a bedtime story, tucking them in, telling them that you love them, can really be helpful. So I'm going to go now. The fish is in the oven. Ice cream is waiting for me. I might have dessert before my main tonight, and I'll talk to you all a little bit later. Amanda's saying baking is a good mindfulness practice. It so is, and tonight, I don't know if I can call it baking fish. Peter's saying, I love my bedtime, but I don't have kids. Yeah, Pete, that's good. But I think you have a pet though, so maybe you can pat your dog, I think, and tell your dog. Yeah, Sasha's saying yum. So, okay, I'm going to go now. It's absolutely bucketing down and I can't hear myself, but I hope you all have a really lovely night. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. It was really nice to have some company tonight. Take care, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. Bye.